Welcome to Golf World's 2017 Super Adjustable Driver Test. We've got the three most adjustable drivers on the market today: the Mizuno JPX 900, the TaylorMade M1 and Callaway's great big Bertha Epic. We've come out here to the stunning Quinta de Lago in Portugal to put these bad boys through their paces. Let's see how we got on.
Well, JPX 900, I mean, Mizuno aren't necessarily historically, into their woods or have great design in woods, but I think this thing has changed the way that they viewed the wood technology, especially in terms of adjustability. So we've got the hosel that rotates through a number of different settings in loft and both an upright and standard lie. We've got a weight system that runs from toe to fade, right the way around to draw, and then down through the center in order to control spin and launch. And then there's a sole piece which allows for the club head to say, set up a little open or a little close. So I have to say, I mean, I was looking forward to hitting the driver. I was impressed by what I saw. It spun a little bit more than I thought, but I suspect that's down to the chassis and the way that the crown is designed.
It was a good job we had Derek here, really, because it's so adjustable, the JPX 900, that I just wouldn't have known where to begin, and I think we were all in the same boat there. But once we did get it dialed in, I think we all produced some pretty stable numbers. For me personally, it flew the straightest visually. Admittedly, it was launching a little left, but it was so stable because it had some really solid backspin. The only flip side of that is I felt that was really robbing me of a bit of distance. Personally, I'd rather have to control a club a little bit more and get a bit more power out of it. But if you're looking for a fairway finder and you play a narrow course, this could be right up your alley.
That driver is going to be probably in that sort of mid to high handicap guy. He's looking for a little bit more help in terms of controlling the ball. He knows where he's going to obviously miss it, so you can dial the driver around the miss to make it a little bit more favourable and forgiving. So it's going to be a broader handicap for that driver. What can I say about TaylorMade and their drivers? They own the driver market as far as speed, control, on tour. But you're right. Last year that M1, it was good for me. It still produced that low spin, but it was a little bit dodgy on off-center hits. You had to clip it really well to get it to work. This year's model, it almost took like the metamorphosis of M2 and kind of blended it into M1. I think that weight change when they moved the carbon fiber into the toe has allowed that the way that the chassis sets up to deliver hits, off-center hits, much more friendly. So it still delivers that high launching, low spin. The adjustability allows you to tweak it and twiddle it in to get the player to get the best from it, but it certainly is friendlier on off-center hits.
I have to admit I had certain reservations about the M1 going in. Last year's I thought was pretty unforgiving, to be honest, and I found a little bit difficult, and I was more of an M2 guy. But actually, one of the things we can all agree on is that the forgiveness of that M1 has gone up a massive jump. It is very forgiving with all that adjustability. We were really able to get it dialed in. For me, the 460 head looked a bit big, so I went for the 440. We put loads of weight in the back, and it was still forgiving and playable enough, which I found absolutely incredible, and I got fantastic numbers with it. I was really happy with it.
I'd have to say, TaylorMade have nailed down the high launch, low spin market. I mean, it's great for obviously guys that hit it hard. It's great for guys that hit the ball too high. You're trying to control the ball and keep it moving forward all the time. I mean, it's a distance guzzler. This thing really, really chews up the fairways in terms of distance because it'll control how the ball comes out and then keeps it rotating nice and low in the air so that it cuts through. And even in crosswind, front wind, it cuts through it all. So it's my number one distance getter. The whole world's talking about jailbreak. The two bars that run down from the top of the crown into the sole, in behind the face to creating the stability, where what they're doing is they're now holding the top and the bottom of the frame of the driver and keeping it so that it doesn't lose energy through the head, down in the sole or up in the crown. And to be honest with you, it was a little bit skeptical as to how this would work. I was really looking forward to seeing how the ball was going to come off the face, and I can tell you it delivered in spades. How it works is takes the energy, pushes it back into the face, and you get that little bit of 3 or 4 mile an hour back into the ball. So if you're looking for that little bit more distance, that jailbreak technology really does work. Callaway have a very cool hosel insofar as that it's quite intuitive in that the writing that's on it, it's a +1, -1, it's got a draw setting there. The only thing it doesn't really work well for is fade. So if you have a big kind of a sliding hook, it doesn't really work well for fade settings. But in terms of delivering a slightly higher launch, keeping a little bit more draw bias for the majority of golfers, it's really good. And then your little backtrack at the back of the head where it rotates around for draw and up high for fade. To be honest, I kind of like it more centered, maybe a little bit into the draw side, so that it delivers high MOI and keeps the driver real stable through impact.
I was really looking forward to hitting this GBB Epic from Callaway. I play the Fusion now, and for me that's an absolute game changer of a driver. So that same traxial carbon crown, I thought that with adjustability, what's not to like? Numbers wise, I was pretty impressed with it. It doesn't look quite as fast behind the ball as the Fusion to me, but I was still getting it out there, producing some great numbers, and the efficiency of the face with that jailbreak technology. The numbers do back it up, to be honest. It is probably the most efficient from converting ball speed, club speed into ball speed of the three drivers. Overall, I really liked the flight I was getting with it. Did I fall in love with it as much as the Fusion? Perhaps not. But it looks good, it produces results. Between that and the M1, it's a real toss-up.
Epic is somebody that's looking for a little bit more speed, but does generate a good bit of hit, because you kind of want a little bit of speed to get that face to work, I feel. If you're slightly slower on the slow speed market, you're probably not going to get as good a hit from this thing. It kind of has to be sort of in that sort of 85, 90 to 100 miles an hour in clubhead speed. So if you're in that kind of speeds, you're definitely going to see the benefits from this in terms of controlling not only the launch and spin, but also that little bit of extra speed that you're looking from the face.
So there we have it, guys. That is the end of the 2017 Golf World Super Adjustable Driver Test. We put these three bad boys through their paces. They're jam-packed with technology to help your game. Some are going to suit you more than others, but hopefully what you found out today is going to help you pick the right one for your game. Go out there and have a fantastic 2017.